Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory video. This is going to be a pretty special video and going to be kind of, I guess, like off kilter because I'm reading off of a script, or like I have a script in front of me, but I'm going to try to sound more like myself because this is going to be like a mix of both a guide video, not a guide video, but a post commentary video, but also a rant. So if you're not into that stuff, then I guess you can click off the video, but I just want to let you guys know it's going to be a special video that I think I should have made one a long time ago. So today, I want to talk about the 10 most common mistakes or oversights that I see players in the Maple community making when they play the game, especially the newer players. I've been making guide videos for maybe like 5 years now, and I really love helping others by giving them access to information that they wouldn't otherwise have. That's pretty much been the goal of my channel in the Maple community whenever I am playing Maple, you know? I'm like a huge quote lover. I just love wise sayings, even if they're all cliche, and one of my favorite ones is the all-known one that goes along the lines of, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach him how to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. So I'm all for generosity in, sharing what you have, but not necessarily materials that I care about that I think we should be giving. It's more knowledge, because, knowledge allows people to become wealthy for themselves. You could teach a person how to gain materials instead of just giving them materials. And since I've been doing content creation on Maple for the past 5+ years, I've come to know a lot of habits I see players building up, both new and old, that have been somewhat bothering me for a bit, which is the whole point of this video. No, I'm not roasting you, I'm not saying you're dumb, I'm not saying you're bad at the game. I just want to make this video to, raise awareness, because oftentimes we don't know when we're making mistakes, including me. You'd be surprised at how often my buddy lists and friends on Maple call me out for being a dumbass. So let's pick 10, starting from the 10th most common mistake to the first, or maybe in no particular order. Let me know in the comment section below on which ones you guys think apply to you. And if you can think of other mistakes you see yourself making or other people making, then feel free to share as well. Remember, we're all here to learn about the game, not to bash each other on how little they know. That's a pet peeve of mine, by the way, on the internet, is that people are so focused on pointing out what others don't know instead of trying to figure out what they don't know. Yes, I understand that if a person's wrong, they should be aware that they're wrong and they should be told that they're wrong. But it doesn't have to be you telling them. Like, why does everyone feel the need to fact check each other when you're trying to learn the game? Of course, spreading misinformation is not good, but I don't know, it bothers me. I remember this one time where someone in my Discord was talking about something that was partially correct, but also a little misinformed, and then some guy just went on a huge rant about how he was wrong and he should spout information when the second guy was also wrong, and sorry, just blowing off a little bit of steam. Like I said before, this video is going to get kind of ranty, so I do apologize for that. I do want to mention before we start that the mistakes I'm talking about are not in-game mistakes, at least not entirely. Most of these are mistakes that come from your mindset. When going into an MMO, you have to think of it the way the game is intended for you to think. It's an RPG, role-playing game. Picture yourself as the player. Sounds super cringe, I know, but I'm serious. In all honesty, I view RPGs as self-growth, not just the character in-game, but your character in real life. It's about putting your time, effort, and sometimes money to build yourself. If you think about it too much on what the game wants or what other people expect from you, you'll never be able to enjoy the game the way you want to enjoy it. But yeah, let's get into the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the long introduction. Mistake number 10. Some players, they just take the game too seriously. Just remember that MapleStory in its core essence is just a game. I used to be one of those kids who treated everything like it was life, and for Maple I was like, this is more than a game. But as I got older, I started to really understand what that it's saying is supposed to mean. It's what we give for the game and what we do in the game that makes it more than just a game. The people we meet, the habits we build, the lifestyle we have, the activities and quests we do, just the enjoyment we get out of it that makes MapleStory more than a game. However, technically speaking, Maple and everything else in it is just a video game. Don't freak out so much about missing a 2x experience event just because your girlfriend would rather spend the evening at, a BTS concert. Video games, they're never meant to be first in your life. Family, school, going to the gym, your health, all those, they take first priority. And then video games come second. You'd be surprised at how many people I meet that make it their life's work to focus on Maple. Chill. The game isn't going anywhere if you miss dailies for a week or if you miss double miracle time. Who cares? Mistake number 9. Players think Maple is a solo game. Yes, a lot of the stuff on Maple you could easily do by yourself, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have friends. More than 90% of the people you talk to in real life, I guarantee, you never do anything with. All those texts you send to that one person like, yo, we should grab a cup of coffee sometime, and then neither of you follow through, that doesn't mean you don't still want to keep in touch with them. Friends are made in Maple for company, not for benefit. I miss party quests, party training, and henne-hoing as much as you guys do. But just because I spend most of my day doing stuff on my own doesn't mean I don't chit-chat and enjoy the company of my buddy list on Discord or in buddy chat. There's nothing wrong with having people to just talk to. Your buddy list on Maple doesn't need to consist of those you play with and or you meet on a transactional basis. You can simply just talk. And despite players on the game being more independent than they used to be, you can still party around and like do bosses or mini games together. Oh, okay, this is a huge one, and I really freaking hate hearing this. A lot of people on Maple think that just because something takes a long time, that it's hard. A couple examples I see and hear so often would be like when reboot players say that reboot is harder than normal servers because you have to farm everything and you can't spend on the game, or people who say leveling or making meso is so hard. When something takes a lot of dedication and grinding, that's not hard. The right word is tedious. Equally, an undesirable word, but you get what I mean. I remember when I posted my video on easy ways to make meso, and a few people in the comment section said like, none of these methods are easy, you're full of crap, when literally all of them are super straightforward. Just doesn't yield instant results. Reading a 1,000-page book is easy, just takes a long time. Losing weight is easy, just takes a long time, unless we talk about underlying medical issues. Or getting 8k Legion on Maple is just super easy, you literally only have to level up characters, that's it. I'm sure you guys get what I mean by now. There's a difference between something being hard to do, like learning rocket science, and something taking a long time. And while we're on that, the next mistake is that players are just so impatient, and this isn't exclusive to just MapleStory, this is exclusive to everyone in real life and in games other than MapleStory. I understand that gaming as a whole industry is shifting towards the fast-paced, short bursts of fun and entertainment such as League of Legends, Fortnite, Apex Legends and such, but MMOs are meant to be long-term games. That is the whole point of RPGs, it's a forever building journey of your character. I see so many players give up on Maple because they train a character to level 100 and go this game sucks, and then stop. You've only played what, 3 hours? Some of us play Maple for over 10,000. You're not supposed to have super godly characters or results in a matter of days. And yes, I know I went from no equipment to cap damage in like 4 months, but remember, I played Maple since 2008. I've known the game for a long time. So it's not just resources and wherewithal, but it's also experience. Everything in Maple takes time. Leveling, funding, bossing, farming, grinding. Like, if you don't feel like dedicating time and effort into the game, then I'm sorry, MMOs are just not the game for you. You gotta be patient if you want to enjoy the game. Take it slow, especially for you new players. I know it's intimidating to think you have to dedicate so many hours to get anywhere in Maple, but where's the rush? Relax, take it slow and steady. Come home from work, grab a beer, take a shower or something, and then just relax for the rest of the day. A game isn't fun if you beat it too quickly. Mistake number, what are we on? I actually don't remember, are we on 7? I think we're on 6. Okay, 6. I would say that mistake number 6 is the players assume their experience will be the same experience as others. Maple provides a different and personalized experience for each person. Don't assume that what happened with your friends will happen to you. For instance, I see a lot of people asking me if X class is fun to play. I really can't answer that because you and I don't have the same taste. I enjoy playing dual blades because I like holding 2 weapons and because of their fast and upfront melee playstyle, but my friend Nathan, he enjoys Nightwalker because of their high damage output and high risk, high reward thematic. My other friend Astrid loves Evan because she just likes having a giant pet dragon. It all really depends on what you're looking for. Likewise, that also applies to things like bossing or grinding. Some people really enjoy training and they try to go for 275. Others love the rush of gambling, so they do a lot of cubing, scrolling, star forcing, flaming, etc. And yes, I'm looking at you, Minu. It's important to reference from others' anecdotes, don't get me wrong, but you should never make the judgment that just because someone else thinks that something is boring that you should think the same. I find mages pretty lame to play, but others love them. We're all different. Number 5? Yeah. People compare way too much. Way too much. This isn't a PvP game. Don't care so much about how someone else is stronger than you because they have more money than you. Doesn't matter that your friend who's a hero does twice the damage that you do as a Dark Knight, even though you have the same gear. Sure, if you enjoy doing more damage, then you should try to reach it, but there's a reason why most of the top DPS classes in the game, like Kadena, Blaster, Arc, and Angelic Buster, or whatever, are some of the least played classes because not everyone likes their playstyle. I know it sounds mildly hypocritical of me because I make videos on best classes and such, but I always say in every video that you should just focus on whichever class you find fun to play. Because if you're going to be playing a class for like 3-4 years straight, you're going to want to make sure that you enjoy the class, you're not just miserable the whole time you play it. One more thing. In my power leveling videos and equipment videos, I see so many people feeling super discouraged that they see me and then look at their own character and their own gear. Everyone starts at a different time. As I said before, I've been playing the game for like over a decade now. I don't know how long have you been playing, but some of you only a year or 2. And for those of you who have been playing longer than that, it still doesn't matter. The time I spent on Maple was dedicated towards something different than what you've been spending your time on. I have friends who spend 10,000 hours just like hene-hoing or AFKing around with friends and chatting. You know, it's all about what you do with the time you spend, not how much time you spend. I think we're on mistake number 4. Yeah, okay. So this is a good one. This is another cliche you hear like all the time, the journey is more important than the destination. Stop thinking so much about where you want to end up and focus more on where you are right now. This does tie in with the previous point of comparing one person's end to your beginning. You have to stop thinking about where you'll be at 50k stat and instead think about what to do where you are right now, what to do next, not what to do when you get there. Whether you're 1k, 3k, 10k stat, I don't care. Stay in the present. One of my viewers who I was mentoring from my Patreon page would always go, once I get 50k stat, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Hey man, I'm glad you're setting the bar high and I hope you achieve it, but you're not 50k right now, you're only 5k. Let's focus on that first and we'll worry about the 50k part later, okay? The next theory I feel like applies to 95% of Maplers. Players think about too many things at the same time. I understand it is difficult not to do that with all the things you have to micromanage, hyperstats, V-Matrix, training, Maple Legion, link skills, cubing, scrolling, star forcing, what else? Arcane Force, bosses, daily traits, I get it. I've been through it a lot. For me, stuff like this is super simple, but for newer players, it's pretty daunting, and this doesn't apply to just Maple, you know, it applies to every new game. A good analogy I like to talk about regarding this is when you go out to eat. Every time I go to one of my favorite restaurants or something, I always want to get everything on the menu. You guys have that too? And in theory, I can, but my stomach can't hold all of it in one meal, right? So what do? I choose a different thing every time I go. Maybe I'll choose this one dish one day and I'll choose another dish the next. One plate at a time. Give your belly, or maybe in this case, give your mind, give it time to digest what it just learned. We as humans can only transfer a limited amount of information or data to our long-term memory at a time. You can't learn like 6 different things at the same time. Unless you have 300 IQ, it's really difficult for you to learn like advanced quantum physics and then chemistry and then biology all at the same time. Remember how I said you should worry about the present, not the future. Tackle one thing at a time. Pick one aspect, really focus on it, and then move on to the next. Usually what I recommend my patrons is to study up each one individually instead of trying to do all of them at the same time, because it gets really overwhelming. Some things, they're simpler than others, but hey, that's the point of my videos, to make it simple for you to understand. There's a reason why my training guides are short and concise. If I give you a 3-hour long training guide talking about all there is to do with training, it will be way too much information for you guys to process. I feel like this video is less MapleStory advice and more life advice. Anyways, mistake number 2 is that players, they don't make a plan. Let me regale you with yet another proverb. A goal without a plan is just a dream, and that is true. You know, it's accurate. This applies to video games just as it does life. For example, when you build in Minecraft or when you build a building as an architect, you need to start off with a framework, you need a blueprint. Or when cooking something, you need a recipe, whether you make one in your head or if you write it down on a piece of paper. To progress well in Maple, you need a plan. To progress well in anything, you need a plan. What kind of steps you want to take. The reason why so many players struggle to get anywhere is because they don't have a plan, a set routine to work with. For me, whenever I make a new main or if I fund a new character, I follow the same formula. I think about what my milestones are, what are my steps to get them funded, and that's how I'm able to get new characters off the ground like my Pathfinder so easily. That and because I've done it like over and over. But when funding a new character for the first time, take a few days just to write out a plan for what you want to do, like physically write it out, what to aim for. And if you want to make sure you're taking the right steps, feel free to ask more experienced fellow players. It also helps to keep yourself from losing motivation or getting distracted. Now, for the number 1 mistake everyone makes in Maple, is that we play the stupid game. I'm kidding. Well, I'm just kidding. Maple's a fun game to play, but I had you there for a second, didn't I? The real number 1 mistake I see in Maple, actually, rather the number 1 mistake I see the whole world making, is that we're not willing to learn. Rather, I feel like our generation and the subsequent generations, we kind of forgot how to. Let me get a little philosophical here for a second. We as a society, we have access to more information than ever before. All you need is just a simple mouse click and a couple of keystrokes and you can ask any question you want in the world and have it answered for you, but therein lies the problem. We've become so reliant on our questions being answered for us instead of finding the answer ourselves. We've lost the ability to learn. It sounds counterintuitive of me to say being the one who's actually making these videos and answering questions, but I did mention before that there's a specific reason why I keep my videos simple compared to others who try to be as detailed as possible and answer every single what if. Tutorials are very important and beneficial to getting the hang of the basics, but full understanding and mastery, it comes from discovering and learning on your own. You know, I remember back when I was in middle school and the Rubik's Cube was still a fad, you guys know what that is. My grandfather asked me what it was and I showed him you gotta like rotate the sides around and try to get all the same colors on one side, and he asked me if he could try. I told him it was like super hard to do, and he stared at it for a moment, started like fiddling around with it and I was in my head, there's no way he's gonna figure it out, and I kind of laughed at him a little bit inside, which was a little mean, but anyways. He came back to me 4 hours later with it finished. No tutorials, no guides, nothing. He figured it out himself. Now before you say that's not an accomplishment, I know for a fact almost all of us who learned how to do it solved the Rubik's Cube using a guide or some video to learn how to do it, or had a friend show them. And not like just the Rubik's Cube, my grandfather learned how to fix a broken garage door, a messed up boiler, his car, he built a new desk for my grandmother to use, and all of that without ever having to look up anything on how to do it. He's had to figure out stuff for over like, what, 80 years? Because the internet never existed back then. One of the most intuitive and resourceful guys I know, but back to the topic at hand. I feel like because we have so much information and data at our fingertips that we kind of got lazy when it comes to learning. So many people, they ask me, Jin, is X class better or should I play Y? And it's important to do your homework and study up on something before getting into it. Alternatively, just try it out. If you don't know how to ride a bicycle, try riding a bicycle. If you don't know how to solve a crossword puzzle, try to solve it. If you don't know if you should play the class, try playing it. Trying stuff out and making mistakes, that's integral to learning. Back before YouTube became popular and guides came out, all of us Maplers, we had to figure out stuff on our own. That's why veteran players not only know so much about the game, but we're also the first to figure out new content because we have that learning capability, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not trying to roast new players. I'm not saying that you guys are stupid. It's just more of a problem that's been forming in our society that I feel like we're just not as good at figuring stuff out as we used to because we're just so reliant on going, hey Google, how do you do this, or what is that? Like, there is a certain importance to learning how to do stuff on your own. I still look up guides to this day, but I only scan them briefly just to get the gist of it, and then I take it upon myself to figure out how to do the rest. And because I know how to do this is why I'm pretty confident in the guide videos that I make. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. You should ask questions. But all the same, you shouldn't always just sit and wait for answers. You should do your own part and try to figure out the answer yourself. If you can do that, you can find the answers to all of your questions, not just Maple, but in life. Alright, sorry for getting really deep there, but like I said at the start of the video, MapleStory is like an RPG. Life is like an RPG. You start at level 1, you grow, you meet new people, you learn new skills, you take on challenges, and use those challenges to push yourself to grow higher and higher and learn more skills. I love to weave in life advice in my guides because I love to teach. One of my biggest goals when it comes to teaching is to not only teach people how to do something, but to teach them how to learn how to do something so that they can continue learning other things without my help. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, a rating would be much appreciated, and sorry for the rather different format for this video. But once again, if you think there are some other common mistakes you see players making, then please, by all means, let us know. That's it for today though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon in the next video. Take care.